All right, everyone. Welcome to the DAPcast 2. My name is Fatih Agirtmis. This is going to be our second run. Thank you guys for being here. Make sure that you guys give us feedback. Let us know how we did on the first one and on this one. And with that, we'll get started. So yeah, I'm Fatih. I'm in the connecting team.
I'm Natalie. I'm in the connecting team.
My name is Ria. I'm in the creative team.
I'm Pooja, and I'm the creating team lead.
All right, cool. So yeah, let's start off by just talking about the semester. I don't know about you guys, but I got like 3 projects that are coming up that's going to be due at the end of this month.
Reaching to the choir.
I've never had a semester like this where it's so project-based, and they're like the entire semester. So it's going to be a brutal 3 weeks, but it's November. It's gonna let that beard grow.
Yeah, no shave November. I think we've reached a point where it's like, what is it, like week 11 or something? After week 8, like halfway through, you're just like, oh, look at all the stuff that I have to do. Yeah, exactly. Finals are coming. There's projects due. Well, let me just kind of, hibernate and go to bed.
Look at the stuff I don't know.
Halloween passed, so, you're just kind of recuperating from that, and then you have to get used to the holiday season and finishing
Thanksgiving.
Up.
After Thanksgiving, everything is harder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Especially because, you have 2 weeks to look forward to doing nothing.
Yeah. All right, with that, we're going to move into our first topic. So today, the first topic we're going to talk about is driverless taxis. So I know Uber, I think Google is working on something as well, but probably the most familiar company that people know that's working with this kind of tech is Uber. I know they did something in Pittsburgh where they released a few fully autonomous cars that drove people for free, but I think they had issues with it. I know Google's working on something like that, and Apple, I think, even wants to get into the game. And obviously Tesla, they're not taxis, but they have the tech. So what do you guys think, ethically and the direction of it?
I think once everyone's doing it, I would feel safe enough to be in a driverless taxi, but not until everyone's doing it.
I just think there's so much error in that, just because there's not a real person there. The stopping, let's say you're something comes in front of you, the reaction time that a robot might have or someone not human might have might not be the same, or there's always a possibility that they do have a better sensor to where they will stop before I can't even find words, but the reaction time, if that makes sense.
I think I like that they're beta testing the tech. The problem that I have is I don't think you can have fully autonomous cars, whether they're taxis or not, on the same roads as people that are driving themselves.
Yeah.
Because what happens if you get in the scenario that either or hits each other? Who's liable in that situation?
Right.
Right? Is it the company that developed the software for that car, or is it the individual that hit the car? I get why they're doing it though, because they need if you think about any program or application, in order to make it that dynamic to mimic human language or behavior, it has to obviously continuously get input, right? So it needs to know how other people drive. So I don't know,
this is going to put a lot of people out of jobs in major cities though. If you think about that, that's a lot of taxi drivers in New York, San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I know they already banned it. Even in Turkey they banned it, and other countries are banning it because the taxi business is a big bit. It's thousands of people's jobs and livelihood. The other thing, owning a taxi license used to be really valuable. If you wanted one in New York, it'd be $500,000 or $1 million. They've gone down a lot. So I know Uber is fighting battles all over the world. I think Lyft is as well.
I feel before they even do taxis, they're going to do things like truck drivers and delivery services. They're going to automate those before they do anything with the number of people that it would require to do taxis.
That's true, yeah. I think there's a huge opportunity in the big truck transportation business space. The only issue is, again, there you're talking about tens of thousands of people's jobs and livelihood. So you have to retrain those people and figure out,
where are they going to go?
Yeah.
But I mean, the pro of that would be let's say you're driving from California to Charlotte. It would take maybe, let's say, a week with all the stop and go. This is just an estimate, but imagine if you could just make it in 2-3 days without stopping, because the only thing you would need is refuel or something.
They don't need to sleep. So a big problem is these 18-wheelers go from states, like multiple states, even in a day, and like they're under a lot of pressure. If you think about it, the traffic they have to go through in the highway, like you're driving this huge truck that is carrying like thousands of pounds and tons of weight, like that can't brake properly and stuff like that. So it's extremely dangerous. So I agree with you there. I just think like in general, whether it's driverless taxis, trucks, or anything, like I think it being driverless, and if you can integrate, make it electric, that would be really great, because then it's efficient as well. The only issue is, what are you going to do with the people that are in this space in retail? What are you going to do with the people in McDonald's that no longer have a job because everything is now ordered?
Yep.
What about the people where it's like you order on your app? I see this is really popular. Like people are ordering on their app and they go pick it up. Like, how do you like find jobs for these people?
I mean, even then, if we're thinking about that type of scenario, there's self-checkouts in stores and people still go to other people, like cashiers that are there. I think even if they have an automated option, they're still going to go towards people because that's what they're familiar with.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
Yeah, I think it's like, however though, like if you look with any new technology, whether it's like CD players or like USB-C or a new port or anything, like you slowly integrate it, right? So you're slowly integrating self-checkout. I think within the next couple of decades, will we see people, because the new trend apparently, like everything is online, everything's in the virtual space. People don't even like interacting with people anymore. Like
I mean, you can buy your groceries on Amazon Prime.
Bars
and they'll deliver it to
Bars
you.
are losing money. Like Applebee's, which isn't really a bar but a restaurant bar. What is it? Buffalo Wild Wings, like those like famous chains. They're losing because millennials and like our generation, they just don't like interact.
I saw on like Uber Eats or whatever it is, like you can order drinks. Like you don't have to go to the bar; they can bring it to you.
Yeah. I think I even like heard some research I think done where they were saying like kids are partying less in college even. Like it's slowly going down because people just are
because the
just
culture's changing.
Yeah, they're just staying in and playing and staying on their computer. So how do you mix that blend of tech and like real world experience? I don't know.
I feel like whatever happens, it's gonna have to be a slow change, and it's gonna have to be economic, social, political. It's gonna have to encompass everything.
Yeah, and you have to take into account like, again, the lobbying and like people's businesses are at stake. You're talking about truck drivers, taxi drivers, people in retail. You know, if we think about it, technology can do everything more efficient and quicker than anything that people can do.
Yeah.
So if there's a room to optimize it, it will be optimized. So we have to, I don't know, like you said, I think it's everywhere. Economical, political, social, cultural. We have to take all those into consideration. But with that, we'll move into a topic that's ethical again, but that's a little bit different. So, I mean, we're all pretty much involved in social media, and that's becoming a trend more and more. So I think almost like 90% of people now have smartphones and are online. But with that, we have all that proprietary data and like our lives out in the open for everybody to like consume. So like, do you worry about that? Do you worry, like, I know there's Facebook's been under a lot of scrutiny, Twitter's been under a lot of scrutiny.
Yep.
Like, where do we go from here? What do you guys think about
I think you need to limit how much. It's all like what you're willing to put out there. If you put out your, a home address and, your full name and your email address, well, I mean, you're giving them the information to be hacked or to be followed or,
And I've also noticed that, like, the privacy settings these days, they're getting more, like, there's not as many options. So, like, at first, let's say on Facebook, I could be like, hey, like, I want to share this with my friends only, or, like, friends of friends can also see this, or it's just only me. Now, like, I think the other day, I was trying to make a change, and it wouldn't let me. It says, like, you made this change a year ago, you have to, like, wait a while to update it again, and I was like, well, okay.
Yeah, they've been restricting content settings a lot.
I just like, I feel this kind of ties into the right of your own data. Like, for example, like, I know with almost all the social media platforms, it's not just them, it's other companies as well, whether it's your bank accounts, the gym membership you go to, any service that you subscribe to. Even though you may unsubscribe from that service or you might want to take stuff down,
They still keep
they
your
still have
information.
that data.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like that data will be with them as long as they want to, and I highly doubt they will get rid of that data. And so like we subscribe to so many different platforms, so many different services. It's almost like we're trusting these companies with like who we are as a person. Like
Yeah.
and so like that can get, I don't know, I think that can get really dangerous, and I think we're seeing just the beginning of what can happen.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? So the other day, my roommates and I were talking about going to Chuck E. Cheese, and I was looking up coupons online, like on my laptop. Literally an hour later, I was getting like a bunch of feeds on Instagram saying like Chuck E. Cheese, like make a party, and I was like, all right, this is great.
Creepy.
Yeah.
I'll like go on Amazon just to look up like some clothes or something, and then it'll start popping up on Instagram with like models wearing it or something like that, and it's I know they're tracking my data. It's just really weird to see it in action.
There's this like story. It was a few years ago. This girl that went to Target, she was like shopping for just normal stuff, and apparently she was pregnant and she didn't know it. And the stuff that she was shopping for is what usually like early pregnancy, what women get and eat and the stuff that they get. And so the coupons that were given to her were for like baby diapers or something like that. And her dad like apparently asked for like, are you pregnant? And they ended up taking a test and she was pregnant. And like it knew from previous data.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
You didn't
yeah,
hear about
like-
the story?
Oh
I
my
know
God.
that
And
story.
so I was just like, that's just. I mean, it's kind of cool that they're able to map stuff like that, but it's terrifying at the same time. Like, it's almost like predict. Like it's.
Yeah.
But imagine like
Predicting.
how many years of research and how many people they've gone through to make that trend. It's not just like 10 people. Oh, there's a trend. Like.
And we've just become aware of it, which means they've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like I never thought about it, but like what we do daily, like it's week to week is kind of similar, right? There's a few things that we do differently, like we mix our routine a little bit, but like I go to the gym, like I try to go eat. I eat usually at the same places, like I get coffee every morning, like those type of things. Like so, we're constantly being like, checked on where our location is.
Okay.
And then, I mean, it's not like somebody's spying on us, but like it's like almost like if somebody really wanted to, they could have access to like what we do just on a weekly basis, and they can know that Fatih will be at the coffee shop between 8:30 and 9 every morning from Monday to Friday. I just think that's like
Well, because people strive on routines. Like, that's kind of what makes us who we are, is our routines.
And people say like, I mean, do you think humans are like predictive? Like people think that we're not predictable like creatures.
We totally
but
are,
I
if you
think
look at it in the
we
long
are.
run.
Like I think, and we mimic like trends, right? If I see something that's cool, I try to mimic it. Like
Right.
I don't know. I think that's really, really cool and kind of terrifying.
Gotta start doing some spontaneous stuff now. Element of surprise. Can't let them know what I'm doing.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll finish with the last topic. This one's kind of fun, and it's probably been debated, since I was a kid. But if you could teleport, if that power or that technology came into fruition, what would you do with it, and where would you go? And try to keep it not cliche, because I know I'd definitely go to Europe.
I'd go see my family in India. Because,
India?
one, it's a lot easier, and I only see them every 3 years right now, and I miss them.
Yeah.
I'd go to Thailand.
Why Thailand?
Because they have like this giant fruit festival.
Really?
Yeah. So I want to go because there's just a bunch of like exotic fruits.
I think Thailand would be pretty cool.
It would. If you could go to like the top of Mount Everest and just say, I was the first person to teleport there.
Yeah. I think...
That's a hard one.
Yeah, maybe Machu Picchu would be a really cool place. I've always wanted to go there. I would definitely use it to go get food constantly. That'd be
Yes.
great. That would just change everything, though.
Like, I feel like
Yeah.
we'd have to put limits on it for what you could use it for, because one, it's ridiculous energy expenditure, and if we're just using it daily to say, I don't know, go to work, what do we do with everything else that's around us?
Yeah.
Teleport to work.
Yeah. That's true. I don't know.
You can have like one teleport a day.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, how are you gonna get back?
That's a good point.
I feel I'm like a very like I do like seasonal things like like the festivals that happen around the world, so like the Tomatina festival, like Cinco de Mayo or something.
Yeah.
I feel like you could
Oh.
set it up to have mass teleportation stations and then like set a limit on how many
Oh,
people
like
can
you
go
know
to
what?
things.
How like I don't remember which pizza place it has, but it has like the generalized location now, so you can
Mhm.
get it delivered like to the general location. Like if you're in a park, there's like a spot in the park where the pizza always gets
Mhm.
delivered now.
Like that. So you just do that and
Yeah.
then people can get like cheap tickets because if you're having that many people use it, you're obviously going to make a profit.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like if everybody could teleport, like, would everybody teleport to the same place constantly? Like, how do you monitor?
think
like,
so.
like, you know, like.
Send like a newsletter out. All right, if you want to teleport here, please meet at this day and time.
Yeah. I feel like if it's like, I don't want to say limited because I don't like things being like restricted or limited.
It'd become
but
like a global subway system, if that makes any sense. We'd have pathways that would work better than just having like a teleportation station at every single city that people would want to go to, you know?
Yeah.
Just have it in the major places and then keep local
I just-
transportation intact.
I just don't know how that works though. You know, just the idea of like the technology behind it.
Yeah.
Do you just
I don't
imagine
think we're
where you
quite
go
there.
and you just like, because I know that what they have been able to do is actually teleport like individual small molecules. They can do that, and it's really expensive, like from one place to another. But we're so complex. We're like made up of
We're like-
trillions of
yeah.
molecules. You have to break all of that down.
And rebuild it.
Rematerialize
and what
it.
if it gets built wrong again?
That's what I'm
Like-
saying. Yeah, like that's just crazy.
Wasn't this like an episode of like Very Odd Parents or something?
Yeah, it seems so easy in the shows, but I just like.
No.
And how does it work? Like, do you put something on you? Like,
Mhm.
or, like how do you like dematerialize? I don't know.
Put in the comments what you think.
Please, yeah.
Yeah.
How would you like to get teleported?
But with that, I think that's all the topics that we were going to go over today. So we'll just close it off by events that are going to come up.
November 14th is hand turkeys.
Yes, yeah. And I think we are doing another cast, not next week, but the week after that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
It's
in
every
2
other
weeks.
week.
Please like leave like feedback on like the topics itself, what you guys would like to hear about. We're also looking to bring guests on the show. I know we had these two new, Ria and Pooja, on the show, so we'll try to switch it up and get someone new. So if you'd like to be on, please let us know. And I think just visit our social media platforms.
We're at CCI DAP on Instagram and Facebook. We post about our weekly events, so if you want to have a quick reminder, just follow us.
Yeah. I
And
think
leave
that's it.
comments. CCI UNCC guys, Instagram.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and we'll catch you guys in 2 weeks.